my job.
There he is. Hello. How's it going? All right. Good to see you.
Good to be seen. Okay. You want to look over my shoulder? I'll give you mine. Okay, cool. It's kind of can't start without you. Can't start without me.
Or actually, no, Ryan. I didn't leave it in the car. I left it in the conference room. It's just two binders.
I've been.
Thank you.
Lots of stuff well. That's why. Yeah. I'm hanging in. Busy.
Yeah, we leave before early tomorrow morning.
Oh, you got driver for it.
We're driving this year.
Okay.
This is the last year. So we're leaving early. We're going to only be
Hey, you too?
6 days.
Excuse me 1 second. I had a feeling when I seen the little one. How you doing? Here, I'm gonna come down and speak while we do this.
RV, do you want to get the invocation?
Sure, yeah.
How we doing? Okay. Sorry about that. My apologies.
All right, thank you. Hello, everyone. We will call the, it's 7:03 right now. We'll call the April 7, 2026 Eastpointe Regular City Council meeting to order. Would everyone please rise for the invocation given by Councilman Curley, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, most holy one, once again, we come here tonight to do the business of our beautiful city. We ask that our hearts would be on the topics that we're supposed to be discussing and come to a resolution on all of them. And Lord, we would ask that you would be with our country, the turmoil that we're going through, Lord, we ask that you would give us strength to cure the things that were troubling us now. We ask all these things in your Son's holy name, Jesus, the living Christ. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, everyone. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Baker?
Here.
Councilmember Curley.
Yeah.
Mayor Kleinfeld?
Here.
Councilmember Shadlick?
Here.
Councilmember Scott? Here.
All right, approval of the agenda. I understand administration's recommending to remove new business item A because it's not ready.
It's not quite ready for prime time, that's correct.
All right, would anyone like to make a motion to approve the agenda without that?
So moved. Oh, sorry.
Support, that's fine.
All right. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Baker?
Yes.
Councilmember Shadlick?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley.
Yes.
Mayor Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Councilmember Scott?
Yes.
All right, we'll start off with our presentation with Sarah Frederick for Rare.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sarah Frederick, and I am the Deputy Director of the Recreation Authority of Roseville and Eastpointe. And I'm here tonight just to give you guys a little introduction of what we're going to be offering this spring and summer with the Recreation Authority. So this Saturday is our annual Spring Craft and Vendor Show. I believe it's around 75 plus craft vendors. We sold out again for another year. So we have a packed building full of local vendors to sell their goods. That again is this Saturday at the Recreation Authority Center from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Admission is $1 per person, and then children 12 and under are free. However, if you guys take a peek at your East Sider edition from last week, there is a free coupon in there. So be sure to cut that out and bring that to get in for free. Like I said, the whole building's full. You know, we have a lot of great artists and everything attending. And then we also will have a table with our adaptive group at the Recreation Authority selling their crafts that they have made this winter and everything as a fundraiser for their program. So hope to see you guys all there. Just a few save the dates that were in our newsletter this year for the spring and summer. We have our Donuts with Grown-Ups on Saturday, June 6th, Family Nerf Wars on Tuesday, June 23rd, Pride in the Park on Thursday, July 16th, Movie in the Park, we're going to be featuring Wicked Part 2, and on Tuesday, July 21st, and then our Community Rummage Sale on Saturday, August 22nd. We have a few also family fun trips this year. A couple of them are leading up or after school gets out, so kind of a good way to kick off the summer. So we will be going to a Detroit Tigers game on Thursday, June 11th, Michigan's Adventure on Friday, June 19th, and Bavarian Lodge, the Bavarian Inn Lodge on Monday, August 17th through Wednesday, August 19th. All these family fun trips include bus transportation to and from the location and the full experience of the hotel and lodging and your game tickets and park tickets. So those specific dates of those special events and the family fun trips are all listed in our spring and summer newsletter and on our website. Registration just opened this Monday for all these programs. Again, we do have our youth and adult and adaptive enrichment programs and everything. Just wanted to highlight our special events and family fun trips. All right. You guys have any questions?
Thank you. Any questions?
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
All right, first hearing of the public is now open. Well,
Hi guys, my name is Brittany Schwartz. I've been in talks with a few of you already about some wonderful changes I'd like to try to establish with the city. I am a resident here and have been for a little while now. I have a beautiful little family, Cletus and Matt. And, you know, I am a stay-at-home mom that works pretty hard on trying to figure out ways to balance everything in my life. And I've been seeing a lot of things with roadside stands, which I did give you guys a printout for one, as well as sent over the presentation, which has links that helps navigate some of the things that may have questions on later. I am just working really hard on trying to build a new program for individuals to create a source of income, as well as the opportunity to do something more for themselves or their families, and have something that they can kind of look forward to as well, outside of just the day-to-day, you know, business-to-business type things that a family would typically be doing. Outside of that, it does open up the opportunity for individuals to get nutrition in a different way. It allows people to have, like, not farm fresh, but urban farm fresh opportunities, cottage law abilities, so people who have different cultural backgrounds and everything that have beautiful abilities of creating things that you wouldn't typically see at a grocery store or along those lines, being able to share that with our community a little bit more and have the opportunity to do more with what they're good at. So that is, I think, the amount of time I get, so.
Great, thank you. Anyone else wish to be here?
Good evening, everyone. I am Joella Bush, the Executive Director of Gianna House, located in Eastpointe on the grounds of St. Veronica's Parish. And we service young women between the ages of 18 and 25 who are pregnant and homeless. We provide services for those young ladies to live at our home during their pregnancy and then for up to 1 year after their babies are born. We also have a community outreach program that services over 200 families in the Eastpointe and surrounding areas. And we provide services to these families without any federal assistance, strictly through people just like you and I who believe in our mission and who support and donate, and also through fundraising. So I just wanted to invite you all, as well as the Eastpointe community, to our event. It's our inaugural charity night, Friday, May the 8th, from 6 to 10 p.m. at the Athena Hall. And we're looking for sponsorships if anyone is interested in being a sponsor. We're looking for dinner sponsors, table sponsors, spirit and bar sponsors. If you're interested in getting an ad by any chance, or perhaps just your business card, that's available as well. If you would like any additional information, we do have our brochures as dropped off by Ms. LaToya Green earlier in the week. Thank you. Out there on the table if you're interested. And you can also go to our website at giannahouse.org. And we hope to see you all in support of us and helping us to support the moms and babies be stable and be independent. Okay. Any questions?
Oh, no, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening. Pastor Albert Rush, pastor of Eastpointe Emmanuel United Methodist Church, also a chaplain for the Eastpointe Police Department, part of the Rotary Club, and also the interim chair of the Eastpointe Community Coalition. I wear a lot of hats. But more than anything else, I love what I do, and I love being a part of this community. I've been living here for 14 years as pastor of Eastpointe Emmanuel United Methodist Church. But today I'm coming forward to you, as we've talked before, about an opportunity for our leadership to be with our community. The Eastpointe Community Coalition is going to have a Spring into Wellness Community Health Fair coming up Saturday, April 18th, 2026, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. There's flyers out there. It's health and preventative resources, interactive stations, take-home wellness materials. We have a number of vendors there to connect with about opportunities and things that's going on in our community. And making sure that those who do not know what our coalition is about, I want to Rob used to be the president of the coalition at one point in time. So our job is to connect with our community. And our mission is supporting the residents of Eastpointe and surrounding communities by promoting a safe, healthy, and substance-free environment, providing opportunities and education so that people can be able to make sure they're substance-free, how we have opportunities for substance abuse resources through our connection with CARE, also making sure that for those that do have drugs and different things, that we have ability to lock boxes for that, and also how to get rid of drugs so they don't get in contact with children. So please take an opportunity. I'll be emailing each and every one of you city council members with this flyer so you'll know exactly what's going on. And I hope that you can just stop by for a minute while a number of people for the community be there. And it'll be at Love Life Christian Church. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Natalie Waske, and I'm a preventionist at Care of Southeastern Michigan in the neighboring community of Roseville. And I'm also here on behalf of the Eastpointe Community Action Coalition. Something else I wanted to highlight of our involvement is our involvement in partnership with the Eastpointe Police Department with National Drug Take Back Day. So this national initiative is what helps us with a safe and responsible way to dispose of unused or expired medications. This is what helps us prevent substance misuse. This is what helps reduce accidental harm with children and families. And this is also a big way that we can keep our community safe. This is a national initiative, and the next upcoming one is on Saturday, April 25th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Eastpointe Police Department. During our last October Drug Take Back Day, we collectively gathered 22 pounds of unused or expired medication. So that just really speaks volumes to the impact of what this is. So this is a really great opportunity for residents to do some spring cleaning and take part in this really simple but really meaningful way to support your community and your homes and your family safely. And lastly, I would like to invite everybody to join us for upcoming coalition meetings. We meet every first Thursday of the month at 11 a.m. on Zoom. However, our upcoming May meeting, we're gonna be meeting at 6 o'clock on May 7th at Pastor Rush's church, Emmanuel United Methodist. We're gonna be having a potluck and celebrating all the great things our coalition has been doing in the community and planning for our times ahead. And we would love for the community, all of you guys, to be involved in that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Cardi DeMonico, Eastpointe resident. I wanted to come out and talk about something that was brought up a couple meetings ago about me. I'd emailed everybody here at the table about this, but just wanted the community to be aware. A couple meetings ago, like I said, the following occurred, and I'd like to just respond to the innuendo and false statements. It started with, well, initially the conversation was brought up. Mayor Pro Tem Baker asked which council member added a budget amendment that resulted in the elimination of the HR manager and deputy personnel director position. The agenda item was not added or created by a city council member. The finance director added it to the agenda, as always happens with a budget amendment, and the city manager recommended it be approved, as always happens with a budget amendment. The part, though, that is false is just Finance Director Blum said the agenda item was initiated by myself and Mayor Kleinfeld. This was false and a lie. The more I think about it, I'm just perplexed by why it was even said, because it doesn't really matter if it's started with a council member or the finance director or the city manager, because the council is responsible for the budget and just adopting a budget with the city. And, any can be updated, by any council member too, but that was just very perplexing. But I stand by that vote that we did make to eliminate the HR manager / deputy personnel director position as it last existed, because it was no longer aligning with our original goals for the position when it was created in the fiscal year 2019-2020 budget. The position did not exist before that, going back to at least 2014, and I'm pretty sure much longer than that if it ever existed. The city council that was seated during the financial crisis of 2008 was required to make many tough personnel decisions that affected the police department, fire department, every department of the city. The fiscal health of the city is something that all city councils must consider to run a professional, well-run municipality. So that is all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council. Mary Halbrayford, Eastpointe resident. A couple of things that I wanted to bring to your attention. If you have not recently seen the council discussion page on Facebook, I wanted to bring this to your attention. After the March 17th meeting, and with the request of opening an hour earlier by Moses Roses, I happened to spend the entire week monitoring the traffic over there. Not once did I see an abundance or overwhelming number of cars, no people lined up. In fact, the most numbers I saw on that parking lot before 10 and even a little after 10 was 7. So I'm wondering, when you decide to make decisions, does anybody investigate the necessity of the request? Or is it just arbitrarily determined by whoever feels like it's going to benefit them? Because I'm really upset about this. If we're going to do things, we need to do them right. And based on the hierarchical chart that was included in the agenda, at the very top of this is residents. And everything else branches out from that. So it seems to me that in order to do your job, you need to listen to the residents. I don't know why that isn't happening, but I do know that the fact that people are not listening to residents are one of the primary reasons we don't have the community participation in decisions that everyone should be involved in, or at least have the opportunity. So I'm asking you again, I know you're voting on the second reading of that situation with Moses Roses. I had hoped he would be here so I could tell him to his face, he lied. And I don't have a problem saying that. We need to do better for the city. And I'm going to keep saying that until somebody actually hears me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. First, of course, you know I am the person that was being talked about relative to being laid off as the former personnel director. I do recognize that this subject is on the agenda for tonight, but I would like to again request that the results of the investigation regarding the discriminatory practices of former Mayor City Manager, Elkie Doom, be made public. There are several people with relevant information identified to the investigating attorney who were not contacted for their testimony. I'm wondering how a fair, unbiased conclusion could be arrived at without the testimony of everyone involved. Additionally, as a part of that discussion, I hope, of course, I was laid off as a result of a budget amendment that appears to have been generated according to previous testimony by the finance director. And I hope as a part of the discussion, the fact that there was an HR position that was advertised through a third-party vendor, and once that position was filled, that person has been and continues to be paid $50 an hour, well above what I was being paid. So I hope that is a part of that discussion that you're going to have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard?
Douglas Sequel, 22106, Nevada. Here today because I need the tree in front of my house cut down. It's destroying my sidewalk and it's creating a hazard. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard?
Excuse me, Mayor. Did you catch his address?
I didn't, but I figured we'd go back and look, but actually, where did he go? Oh, can you just leave your address over there for us? Yes, thank you. Go ahead.
Good evening, Council. Craig Wadecki, Eastpointe resident. In advance of your discussions for the 26-27 budget, I would respectfully request considering an additional $1,000 for the Beautification Commission budget. As a commission, we've worked to improve the entrance to Spindler Park with assistance from the Smith family. We maintain a garden bed at Gratiot and 9 Mile, and this Earth Day, and the public is welcome, our group looks to resurrect the Adopt a Garden program, where we try to have citizens adopt bare parcels around the city that they can plant flowers and make the city a prettier place. And also at the same time, our group will be working to clean the walking path at Spindler. At this time, we are also looking to explore working with the Parks Commission to beautify some of our park spaces. Over the years, I know all of you have been part of our cleanup, and we thank you for your assistance. But with additional funding, we certainly like to make Eastpointe a more visually attractive place to live. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard?
Good evening, Council. Mayor, John Solera, Kelly Road. Mr. Bloom, there's budget stuff on the agenda tonight, maybe for a further meeting, but I'd like to know if there's a water bill rate hike coming. I would also like to endorse the comments of Mary Hall Rayford about the marijuana situation. There's been too much funny stuff going on about that. You're not listening to people. I think you're listening to people with cash in their hands. At the last, it wasn't the last meeting, and maybe 2 meetings ago, I wasn't at the last meeting. There's another opioid settlement coming down the line. And I would like to make sure that this time that the settlement ends up with our police and fire department, who take the lead in battling these kind of substance abuses. I don't want to see it doled out to Democrat nonprofit groups and teachers unions. I was at the ethics hearing maybe 3 weeks ago, I don't remember when, that I didn't know what I was walking into. But it was centered on this young lady's case, who I don't know her name, but I was kind of astounded by it. I had no really knowledge of the circumstances, but to me, it gave me a sense of how you, Mr. Kleinfeld, run the city. And I would characterize it as my personal opinion. You run an ugly city. That was an ugly meeting. It was rigged, in my personal opinion, because it did not include, everything was around a vendor, a lawyer that somebody hired here, that made a snap decision that everything was right. That didn't look right to me. It looks like, I think you run an ugly administration, Mr. Kleinfeld.
You have 30 seconds.
Once again, I ask the people of Eastpointe to turn down or vote against the millage or the bond issue for the school system. Christina Gibson has not shown herself to be a competent administrator. Several discrimination suits against her, and allegations of money.
Thank you.
Wrongdoing with money. So
Thank you, sir.
I urge the citizens of Eastpointe to vote no on the bond millage for the school system.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening, Mayor and Administration. It's my name, Wanda Moody, Eastpointe resident. It's ironic that Miss Vicky, I believe her name is, was here tonight, and I'm standing here to speak on that as well. I was going through the budgets that has been approved, and I'm not exactly sure the exact date that, or exact month she may have been laid off. I'm really not sure, and I should have done my due diligence. However, since she has been released, I've looked at the administrative budget that has been approved for months. And apparently, she was laid off for budgeting reason. She was no longer fitting that sector or whatever. However, get to the point, Wanda. I'm seeing an increase in the administrative budget, the amount that is paid out monthly that the committee is approving. And if that's the case, if she was let go because they no longer need that, or for budget reasons, they wanted to have less money paid out for that position, why are we not seeing a decrease in the administration finances on a monthly basis? That would be a question I would like to have answered at some point. You can email me if I'm misunderstanding what is going on, but I'm gonna give you an example. Say when Ms. Vicky was with the city, that they was approving a budget in January for $41,501.22. But then in February, it went up to, she was let go. But in February, it's $45,651. In March, it's $42,532.32. March, $44,000. Then on the March 17th, it was $44,000. I'm not seeing, someone need to make it make sense to me that if this person was let go, laid off, because they found a need to phase out that position for maybe financial reasons, I would love to see a decrease in the monthly administrative budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard?
Jennifer Nicholas, Eastpointe resident. Regarding Vicki Brooks's case, I know these meetings are all on video. I will have to go back and watch it. I can't swear 100%, but I believe that Mr. Blum said that it was Mr. DeMonico and Mr. Kleinfeld that asked him to do the budget amendment. He did not say that you put it on the agenda. It's semantics, but again, I kind of think Mr. Blum was not accusing someone of putting it on the agenda, but that he was instructed to do the budget amendment is what he said. There's the difference there, so. Regarding Moses Roses, two things. One, clarification. Last meeting I had asked about their water bill. It turns out that there is a meter account under a Kelly Road address, and they have been paying their water bill every month. So my apologies for questioning whether or not they've been paying for water. At the March 16th City Council meeting, Attorney Chris Aiello requested that they be allowed to open at 9 a.m. instead of 10 a.m. He stated there are a lot of people sitting outside the front door waiting to get in at 10 a.m. For the last 7 days, we've made 287 sales at 10 a.m. exactly. This would equate to about 40 sales at exactly 10 a.m. every day. Would this mean that they are allowing 40 people into the store right at 10 o'clock a.m. to make purchases? I just feel that there's a lot of exaggeration about, for what they want. This is a print screen of a page from Moses Rose's website dated March 23rd, showing that their Eastpointe location is open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. I'm pretty sure that these hours had been posted on their website since they opened February 1st. It looks like they just copied hours from another store. Could this be why people are lining up there at 10 a.m.? Because if you go to the website, it says that they open at 9 o'clock in the morning. They don't have their hours posted on the big pole sign out front. I think that this may have caused some confusion. It's not that they're needing to open earlier, it's that people thought they opened at 9 o'clock because that's what's posted
You have
on their
30 seconds.
website. You know, again, it's not so much the difference of an hour, although I think that we could maybe let them be open for a little while and see how they do before we start changing ordinances citywide. You know, just a thought, but I don't appreciate them. I don't know if they think that we're really stupid when they ask for these things. You know, if they want something, just ask
Thank
for
you.
it. Don't invent that there's lines of people lining up at 10 o'clock in the morning when that doesn't seem to be the case.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard?
This is Larry Edwards, Eastpointe residents. This is the prime reason and example that I always mention from time to time, that we need to pay as citizens of Eastpointe and as participants of these meetings, how people are voting and what they're voting for and what have you, so we can rid them, get them out of here and what have you when they're not supportive of the people as well as the city, but for more or less sometimes their own agenda. And I think we ought to be just thankful and glad to the Most High Yah that it wasn't suggested rather than 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, or 7 o'clock as it was the previous time, even though they would just wanted to be open up at 9, that somebody didn't suggest let them be open till 8 o'clock. Instead, I believe that was by Councilman Maggie and what have you. And so I think we ought to start paying closer attention to who these people are for and what they're voting for, how they're voting. And like I said before, we've got to get it more under control and get better people up here to represent us as Eastpointe citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Karen Morajan, Section 84-4C1, 2, and 3 regarding rabbits is grossly inadequate. Domestic rabbits do not belong housed outdoors as it puts them in grave danger of being attacked by predators, whether humans, roaming cats, dogs, wildlife, and the ever-increasing presence of birds of prey. Rabbits are the third most abandoned pets at shelters and rescues. At the last meeting, Chief Haynes addressed that 3 rabbits froze to death being housed outside because there was no water due to a despicable and negligent owner. May she incur the maximum sentence under the law and given no plea deal. Furthermore, outdoor hutches are not foolproof since predators can still tear to shreds rabbits and kill them since they have no means to escape. And they can also die of heart attacks, hypothermia, heat stroke, or have maggots burrowed into their flesh due to fly strike or bat strike. Responsible guardians do not and will not house them outdoors, and it is 80 degrees as the correct temperature, not 82. Copying and pasting the dog ordinance for rabbits is shameful. You need to follow the exceptions for cats and dogs in Section 818 and 819 because spaying and neutering is mandatory to prevent reproductive cancers, rabbit hoarding, illegal breeding of rabbits, slaughtering rabbits for human consumption or other food source. The RHDV2 vaccines are mandatory to prevent this deadly disease, causing them to hemorrhage to death. So follow section 8-17A for the ferrets. Remove ferrets, put in rabbits. Remove rabies vaccine, put in the RHDV2 vaccine. Raising and slaughtering rabbits for human consumption or other food source must be prohibited, just as it is under section 8-6D4. It shall be unlawful to slaughter a domestic hen deemed as pets for human consumption or other food source. In 2007, when I bought my house, some jerk at the end of my block was raising and slaughtering rabbits for food. Animal control did nothing until PETA got involved. At the last meeting, no questions were asked about rabbits. None of you replied to my 3 emails
You
I
have
sent
30
to all
seconds.
of you. This tells me you have not done your research. You're doing an absolute disservice to the rabbits if you don't add these critical amendments I've just addressed. And where's the registry for criminals convicted of animal cruelty? Do better. If you don't, then you have no business retaining your elected seats. What you guys have done with this ordinance, I emailed 2 drafts, a copy and paste of the dog ordinance.
Thank you very much.
I'm embarrassed for all of you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard? Anyone else? Oh,
Hi, my name is Amy Cirillo, and I am the Food Service Director at Eastpointe Schools. I just wanted to speak about, I know it's on the agenda, about the Wellness 5K at Spindler Park. I just wanted to advertise, I know it has to be board approved, but if it does get approved, I did want to invite like all the Eastpointe community families. It's a fun event. We're trying to be, it's a wellness 5K that Paris McCarthy and I, the athletics director, and me, Amy Cirillo, food service director, are trying to coordinate each year to try to do like a wellness 5K. It's fun for all families, all ages, kids are welcome. We have healthy snacks and water. So I just wanted to invite the public and the Eastpointe families. So, all right, thank you.
thank you. Great. Anyone else wish to be heard? Seeing none, the hearing of the public is closed. We'll move on to approval of the minutes. Item A, meeting minutes from January 20th, 2026.
Mr. Mayor, there's 7 minutes that we have to approve, but I'll take the first one, and I ask to approve the minutes of the January 20th, 2026 meeting.
Second.
All right, please call the roll.
Councilmember Curley.
Yes.
Councilmember Baker.
Yes.
Mayor Kleinfeld.
Yes.
Councilmember Shadlick.
Yes.
Councilmember Scott.
Item B, meeting minutes from February 3rd, 2026.
I move that.
Motion to approve the meeting minutes for February 3rd, 2026.
Second.
All right, please call the roll.
Councilmember Scott.
Yes.
Councilmember Baker.
Yes.
Councilmember Shadlick.
Yes.
Councilmember Curley.
Yes.
Mayor Kleinfeld.
Yes. Item C, meeting minutes from February 17th, 2026.
All right, I move that we receive the regular meeting minutes for February 17th, 2026.
Support.
You can choose who supported. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Baker.
Yes.
Councilmember Curley.
Yes.
Councilmember Scott.
Yes.
Mayor Kleinfeld.
Yes.
Councilmember Shadlick.
Yes.
Item D, meeting minutes from March 3rd, 2026.
I would move the acceptance of the regular minutes of the March 3rd, 2026 meeting.
Support.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Curley.
Yes.
Councilmember Scott.
Yes.
Councilmember Baker.
Yes.
Mayor Kleinfeld.
Yes.
Councilmember Shadlick.
Yes.
All right, item E, closed session meeting minutes from March 3rd, 2026.
I move that we receive the closed session minutes from March 3rd, 2026.
Support.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Baker.
Yes.
Councilmember Scott.
Yes.
Councilmember Curley.
Yes.
Mayor Kleinfeld.
Yes.
Councilmember Shadlick.
Yes.
Item S, City Council and Planning Commission joint meeting minutes from March 5th, 2026.
I move that we receive the City Council and Planning Commission joint meeting minutes for March 5th, 2026.
Support.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Baker?
Yes.
Councilmember Scott?
Yes.
Mayor Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Councilmember Shadlick?
Yes.
Council.
And lastly, the meeting minutes from March 17th, 2026.
I move that we accept the regular meeting minutes for March 17, 2026.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Scott?
Yes.
Councilmember Baker?
Yes.
Councilmember Shadlick?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley.
Yes.
Mayor Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Welcome back, Brianna.
No scheduled hearings. Moving on to unfinished business, discussion on attorney-client privileged investigation report. I guess since you had added the agenda item, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, well, just where we left off, I mean, I asked a bunch of questions at our several meetings ago, but like it was stated before, your name had come up as one who was involved in bringing this forward. I'll just state it that way, to loosely quote it. So at the end of that discussion, I wanted to re-add it because you were out sick that meeting, because I didn't want to try to speak on your behalf, just so you would have an opportunity if there was something that you wanted to add or speak to, that you would have that opportunity just in the interest of being fair.
Sure, I do have a response, but just going to hit a couple of points. I did watch that meeting. And for the folks that don't know, I was home with COVID, so I couldn't be here. This, I wasn't sure what that item was. I thought it was going to be a discussion on the report. I think there were some things during that discussion that I don't know that I understood why it was being discussed at a public meeting or the proper time. But I will speak to some of the things that were said. Mr. Blum was asked or chimed in to answer whether or not the agenda item was one that was put on by one of our members of council. It was not. To be clear, and I did not want to bring it up at the last meeting because I want everyone to see that Mr. Blum is here. When he said that publicly, I do not know why he said it. It was not my agenda item. It is not an idea that it initiated from me. I don't think it, well, I can't speak to Cardi DeMonico. I was asked by Elke to whether or not I wanted something added on an agenda now or later, which she used to do, or give me a heads up if she thought something was going to be contentious. Given that we were hiring a new city manager, there was a question about should we tackle the budget amendment now so that the new manager doesn't have to deal with it when he gets here. That made a lot of sense to me. It is not something that I reached out to administration and asked to begin working on or create. It's not an idea that started with me. It was something, are you comfortable putting that on the agenda? And of course, and sometimes our city manager will ask which agenda something should go on or how long I think something might go at a meeting. I've never told them not to put something on the agenda. And if I ever do tell them to put something on the agenda, which every single one of us can do, if I had put it on the agenda, it wouldn't have been a problem. But if it were my agenda item, it would have began with me saying, hey, council, I asked this to come to you for these reasons. Our administration does not dress up personal agendas as if they're administration's recommendations. I'd be furious if I found out they ever did that for someone else. I would never let them do it for me. So I was a little hot under the collar. I did want to explain that. But other than that, the conversation that took place, a lot about the HR position and what's being filled, who's doing what role. I think when we get to our next budget meeting, that's the time to have that discussion because that's when we are going to evaluate what to fund and what not. So any opinions I had regarding that, I will wait until we are having that discussion again. So thank you. That's all I had to respond to.
Yeah, and just to that question, it wasn't so much of as far as, well, I did ask, like, going forward, what was the plan? It was just kind of a roundabout question. It wasn't like specifically, are we going to hire this person, that person? I kind of wanted to know where we sat with it currently and then moving forward. So that was why I asked that question, because there was an HR position, or it was stated as the deputy director of personnel or something to that effect, and that position was gone. Yes, when it came to the agenda back in September, I did vote against it because I didn't like how it was presented. Coming from a background of over 25 years where there is an HR department, I have a different perspective about it, and I understand some of this may be discussion going forward, but just to give a little reasoning why it was an issue for me, and then why I wanted to look further into it. Again, it was just how it was presented, but also understanding the importance of, and this is not to say that no one else understands the importance of HR, I'm not implying that, but from my perspective, understanding the importance of an HR position, it is to make sure that things are being done fair and that employees are protected. And so that was kind of really where I sat with it. And I understand that she had other responsibilities on top of that. As far as what was stated at the hearing of the public today, that someone's being paid $50 an hour to do it, at the time of that meeting, several meetings ago, I was told that someone was filling that role temporarily. So I think that this is something, and maybe this will be, whether it be today or within the next couple, at the budget meeting, I think that's something that we have to address or look at, because if the role is being filled, there's more questions that I have about it. You know, of where we went, where, you know, why certain actions took place, and then where we are now, or where we're going forward. But in fairness to our city manager, I did not ask that ahead of time. I didn't know that I would hear that today. So, but I think that's something that we should consider for one of our upcoming meetings or during our budget workshop. But that was pretty much it. I asked a lot of questions back then. I mean, just several meetings ago when I first put this on the agenda. And just out of, like I told you, out of the spirit of being fair for you, because you weren't here, I don't feel it was my place to try to speak for you or against you or in any, you know, in any capacity, but that you should have that opportunity to come and speak for yourself, to say what your perspective is or what your actions either were or were not. In regards to that, this was not put on as an action item, but I think within our upcoming meetings, there may be some things that we need to look at in regards to this position, and it's, you know, wherever it goes or doesn't go. So, but I don't know if anybody else had any questions. I'm not trying to monopolize the conversation, but yes, it was my item. And just in the spirit of being fair and to try to get some answers to see how things transpired, that's why I wanted it on. And I didn't know if that anybody else had any other questions or if administration wanted to address what was stated just at hearing of the public about the employee being paid supposedly to fill that position.
I won't speak to that. I will speak. I just want to be sure that as the minutes reflect that were just approved from March 3rd of this year, the role that was filled temporarily was not that role. Okay. It was a separate role. It was an administrative assisting position. All the HR decisions are made by myself and Assistant City Manager Kim Homan. That's as it has been since I began. So the role that was filled, the role that was filled is completely different. Doesn't make HR decisions. It does posting and filing.
Okay, and I guess just to give a little clarity as to why I asked is because it was also stated that Brianna's position had some HR responsibilities.
Nope.
And, well, no, no. Several meetings ago, that it came out in one of these discussions that she did some HR functions. I'm not going to debate it back and forth, but
do we need to?
I don't need to, but I mean, in all fairness, I do have the mic right now, in all fairness. And I'm not trying to tell you what your employees are or are not doing. I'm just recalling what I heard over several meetings. I've looked at the ethics board meeting. I've looked at more minutes than I care to really sit and elaborate on going back. I understood that she was being trained in some capacity by Vicky prior to you coming here. And so when this person came in, that's where, and I was just trying to explain where, whether we call it confusion or misunderstanding, where that came from. It was not trying to say who's doing what specifically. I don't work here 8 hours a day, and so I'm not trying to tell you who's doing what, but I'm just explaining of why I had questions because of what I recalled. And so if this person that was temporarily filling a position, which you guys said could be done for 90 to 120 days, there was some speculation as to what that end date was, then that's where more questions came into place for me. So that's all.
All right. Did anyone else want to speak on this issue? All right. Well, we'll move on to reports from administration. City Manager's report, Mr. Mattis.
All right, couple of things cooking. Spring has sprung. There's lots going on. I'm sure you've seen the Michigan State tree of the orange construction barrel. 'Tis the season. Lots of things planting and sprouting up. We have lots of contracts and things that are underway as well, so those are starting to bloom. Lots of contract negotiations that are getting started. So your next meeting agenda, you'll see a closed session to discuss strategy related to that. So that'll be on April 21st. And then you'll see several contracts for things like services coming up in the near future as well. We've been doing lots of collaborating with neighbors on a couple different projects, which is exciting. I'm learning lots, and it's been great to dive into those things. I was also at training and missed our last meeting and had a very good experience with the Michigan Association of Municipal Clerks. It's a mouthful, but a very good time. We had an opportunity to talk about the police and court building earlier today. It is headed to bid soon, so you'll be hearing more about that project, as well as several road projects headed to bid. And then last, I wanted to highlight a couple of grants. We had a fantastic fellow. Rui Zerbel has been a godsend to the city of Eastpointe. She's helped in lots of ways and continued some projects and built some projects. We received a couple of grants that I wanted to touch on. The Next Cycle Michigan Seed Awards. Eastpointe is one of only 30 organizations to receive this award. It funds a recycling improvement project that you'll be hearing more about in the near future. We will be having some workshops and things related to that to encourage recycling for all of our residents and stakeholders. And then we also received a second grant from the Michigan Recycling Coalition. That we are one of only 50 municipalities to receive that award. It'll fund some education and outreach efforts around recycling and composting in the city. So you'll see more about that. Some of that information is on the table just outside the door, but we look forward to getting those programs going and continuing those efforts that Rui started. She did a great job. She's headed to greener pastures, but she's in Italy right now, so ciao Rui, and we appreciate you. That's all for me.
All right, thank you. Any questions? All right, we'll move on to Finance Director's report. Mr. Blum.
Yes, good evening, Mayor and Council. Before this meeting began, I sent out an email with the line item budget with all of the footnotes. That's for your perusal over the next 5 weeks or so and get prepped for the May meetings. And that is all I have for this evening. I'll have a brief comment during budget, so.
All right. Thank you. Any questions? And thanks for sending that out. I was, going to ask for it if you didn't send it out, so for anticipating that. City Attorney's report, Mr. Albright.
Thank you, Mayor and members of council. I wanted to touch on the hours of operation by Moses Roses. City administration was informed back on the morning of March 24th that they were advertising the hours as 9 a.m. And Ms. Homan reached out to me and let me know that. And so I immediately called Mr. Aiello and told him that the city was aware of that and that needed to be changed back immediately because that ordinance had not passed. I believe that he did so right around that time, or at least instructed his IT personnel to do that. And I just went on their website and I noticed that the hours of operation are currently advertised as opening at 10 a.m. Mayor, I also wanted to touch on Ms. Schwartz. Last Thursday, she had forwarded an email to the Planning Commission that roadside stands were briefly discussed by the Planning Commission, but the city does not have an ordinance to address that type of use. And so I was asked by the Planning Commission, I also said that I would bring that before the council during my report section this evening to see what the interest was on moving forward with something like that. It would require some type of ordinance change, whether it was to the actual code of ordinances or the zoning code. That's something that I could sit down with city administration to come up with a proposal that may or may not have to go to the Planning Commission, depending on if it becomes part of the actual zoning ordinance. But again, I'm just looking for a little direction this evening to see if that's something that the council is interested in. And I believe Ms. Schwartz has passed out some additional materials too regarding that, those types of uses.
I also have a presentation that I was willing to showcase you guys, if anything.
Well, oh, yes, you can step up if you want to speak to it. Speak into the mic, please.
So sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Guys, I don't mean to be disrespectful in any manner, if that was. I am, obviously new to all of this, and so I reached out to all of you. Some of you answered, some of you didn't, and I appreciate everyone's time, given or not. And I am just working really hard on trying to, I do believe that it is not a zoning issue from what I know from the building and zoning department. It is more of an ordinance. So we have to petition a vote to change the ordinance. And there is, I believe, 2 ordinances that would technically need to be loosened for that ability to happen. Outside of that, it's really just mainly just having the opportunity to have a structure outside. I'm not really thinking that people are going to be building a structure that's going to be a permanent structure. So something that has wheels that can go back into their garage, and just making sure that it is, typically the things that are in there. So not anything that isn't cottage food law, that isn't already a Michigan law in itself, and the Michigan Farmers Act. So the Michigan Farmers Act allows people to sell their goods and everything with roadside stands or at events like farmers markets and things along those lines. That is also something that I know you guys are in the works of considering, but this is also for people like myself who can barely get to do as many things as they would like to do. As you can see, my son had to leave because he is a very rowdy little one. And, it's a little hard to do farmers markets and do things as often as I would truly love to do.
So I'm going to pause you just for a second, because this being your report, have you gotten together, sorry for interrupting you.
Absolutely.
Because we might go forward and then ask you to come back and talk again. So have you talked to the city manager about that idea at all?
Not yet, Mayor, only because this just came up during last Thursday evening's Planning Commission meeting, so it's a relatively new topic being brought before the city.
And did planning request for it to be sent to us or anything, or just casual conversation?
It was more casual conversation, and during the meeting, I indicated that I would certainly, forward a copy of Ms. Schwartz's email to the council, which I did, and I believe that there's some additional materials that she also has too.
The PowerPoint is actually with you guys up front. It's just not, it's in a printed version. So there's the ability to see it. Rob Baker has it. I did try to send it to Karen, but I am not technology savvy. So I'm doing the best that I can with that. So Rob does have a good copy of that, and I'm sure would be willing to pass it along to anybody if I am having any troubles with it. He seems to be very helpful in that regard, and thank you for that.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Mayor, no, I haven't had a chance to speak with Mr. Madison.
I'm willing to try to come next time as well. It might be a little difficult, but I'll figure it out.
Oh, sure. And I did see your email. I know we all have your contact information.
Yeah.
Council, my suggestion would be have those two get together and decide if they want to recommend something, and actually whether it would go through planning or what kind of change it would be, and go from there.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Sense?
Okay.
Yeah, there's definitely interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should go forward on it.
Real quick, Mayor, Ms. Schwartz, are you aware of any other communities in Michigan that allow?
Many.
Many. Do any come to mind just off the top of your head?
Even just Rochester, there's women on TikTok that I actually have listed in the actual email PowerPoint. There is people that do it in general, in our general backyard area type deal, as well as all throughout the United States.
Okay.
So this is a very big change, but I'm trying to do it respectfully within our city's ordinances and stuff, because I do believe that this would not only obviously help myself, but help many others as well. And it's really not just about just me. I want more people to be able to be involved in this too. I'd love to be able to visit their stands and see what they have to offer as well.
Okay, so the city of Rochester, Michigan?
Yeah, Rochester, there's people that are doing it. I know that Madison Heights, there was a woman doing it. Some people are taking like old entertainment centers and they're putting wheels on them and more doors and stuff, and they're putting like baskets of the things that they're selling from their garden, from their farm uses, from their cottage law bakeries and stuff. And there is proper formatting for that as well. Like Michigan cottage law, you have to have an obvious statement that this is not like, regulated by the Food and Drug Administration and stuff as well.
I'm going to suggest if you have more follow-up questions that you follow up after the meeting.
I will.
I really appreciate you. I've been working on this for weeks, and I am sorry that this is not what you want to hear. I just really appreciate your time.
It's okay. No, we appreciate it. I think at this point, do you have anything else?
Other than council's in receipt of our monthly status report, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Does council have questions for Rich?
No.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ken.
We'll move on to, we removed item A. Item B, second reading and adoption of ordinance number 261256, amendments to Article 8, animals. Did anyone want to make a motion?
I would move to give second reading and adopt ordinance number 26-1256, amending Chapter 8, Animals, Article 1.
Second.
Okay. Is there any discussion?
Yes,
Sure.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question. Under section 8-19, requirement to spray or neuter pets, item D, violations, penalty. Upon violation of this section, the owner or custodian shall be guilty of a misdemeanor, which upon conviction shall be punished by a fine not to exceed $500 or imprisonment for a term not to exceed 93 days. Let me repeat that, 93 days in jail or both. And the court may order the cat to be sprayed. I can't vote for this with that item that they may be put in jail for 93 days. Now, someone's going to tell me, well, Harvey, it's a deterrent. Well, you could put 3 days and that's a deterrent. I don't understand where the 93 days came from. It floored me when I read that. I couldn't believe that. That's over 3 months to go to jail for not getting your cat a shot. So I would like to, Ms. Mayor, if I can, I would like to make a motion. And
is it a motion to amend?
It's a motion to amend.
Sure, go ahead.
I would make a motion to amend to delete the following: or imprisonment for a term not to exceed 93 days in jail or both. I'd like to have that eliminated so there wouldn't be jail time. The $500 would stay there. Well, you can move your head back and forth all you want, but I'm not going to sit here and have Grandma Jones go to jail for 93 days before she didn't give her cat a shot. And if you think that's justified to put somebody in jail I don't know if somebody goes to jail if they have a hit and run
Your Honor?
or if anything like that. So that's,
Well, 1 second.
well, that's the motion.
Yeah, Mayor,
Hold on, is there support for that?
Support.
Okay.
The chief chimed in first.
Yeah, Chief.
I just wanted to be clear. This is a misdemeanor. Every one of our ordinances for animal control and everything else we have are misdemeanors. Every one of those ordinances carry with it a penalty of up to $500 and/or 93 days in jail. This is no different than any other misdemeanor that is on the books here in the city of Eastpointe, the city of Madison Heights, the city of Royal Oak, the city of Warren, name your city. These are local ordinances that are pretty standard throughout the state. No one in the history of me being a police officer, which is now 35 years, has ever gone to jail for this type of offense. As we said at the previous meeting, the majority of these offenses, if they're even issued, because they're given a chance to rectify before they're ever issued a violation. If they are issued a violation, it goes in front of the court, and we have our city attorney here that will probably state the same thing, but they will go in front of the court, and as long as they have complied or they are given more time to comply, the ticket is generally dismissed with a small fine. So I know that it sounds like, but this is every ordinance that we have. This isn't something that we made up. This isn't something that came out of a magic hat. This is the state law that is changed into local ordinance.
Chief, I don't want to argue with you, but I realize you don't have a magic hat in your office on your desk.
I wish I did.
I understand that. Since the mayor asked you to speak, so I guess that gives me permission to ask you a question.
Yes.
And I know the other ones have the 93 days, and maybe I should take those one at a time on the next several council meetings and reduce that. Why 93 days? Why not 2 weeks, or why not 5 days? Why 90?
Because that's the way
is that some?
I can let Rich answer, but my understanding is that's just the way the statute is written. And that's what we're adopting as a local ordinance, and that's what all the local ordinances, that's the standard fine and or jail time. It's not something that we can just change.
That's, when you say jail time, that just gives me the creeps, particularly for the offense. So, I mean, that's just, the motion's on the floor. I haven't got I did get a second. It can be turned down, fine. If not, then this is the first time that 93 days has been eliminated from all the things you got, Chief.
So,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just going to chime in with the question. I actually don't, it's not something I've researched. I wouldn't expect you to know off the top of your head, Rich. I've never seen a misdemeanor without a jail term, and I actually don't know if you can have a misdemeanor. I don't know. I've just never seen it. I know 90, 93 days, and a year are the typical benchmarks for a misdemeanor.
Basically, what separates a civil infraction from a misdemeanor. Civil infraction is not a crime. It carries with it just a penalty of a monetary penalty, whereas a misdemeanor can carry both a monetary penalty and a term of jail not to exceed 93 days. And what it does is it gives the judge at a sentencing, assuming the case goes through the process and the defendant is either found guilty or pleads guilty, the judge at sentencing then can take a lot of different factors into consideration, such as if this is a repeat offense, did the person do it and was warned and they just ignored the warnings? And so it gives the judge the discretion to just issue a fine, to put the person on probation, to hold a term of jail not to exceed 93 days. For instance, the judge could say, okay, well, I'm going to give you 10 days in jail. Or the judge could hold that jail term in abeyance, meaning that I'm going to place you on probation, and if you violate any of the terms of your probation, you're going to get the 10 days in jail. So what it does is it limits the judge from not giving a sentence beyond the 93 days. So the jail time can be anywhere from 1 day in jail not to exceed 93 days. The fine can be $10, but it can't exceed $500. So that's why that's in there. And that's in practicality, that's how it works. And again, in doing this now for 29 years, I've never seen any of the judges over in the 38th District Court give somebody a jail sentence for something like this. Not to say that it couldn't happen, but I've never seen it.
I guess I would lead in my next question is with a civil infraction. I don't typically deal with those, so is it necessary for it to be a misdemeanor for the court to have enough jurisdiction to order like other conditions like neutering and stuff? Or is it just a fine? Does it need to be a misdemeanor to enforce? So do you understand what I'm saying?
I do. Well, if there's any violation of this ordinance, the judge can order that person to comply with the ordinance. Otherwise, they could get another. If it's just going to be a civil infraction, they could get another civil infraction, and they could get a civil infraction every single day.
But having it a misdemeanor gives them a little more, I can order you to do this by the state.
It puts more teeth in the ordinance, yes.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, if I may,
Yes.
I just want to elaborate here on something. So the spay and neuter is not a shot. It is to help fix the animal so that we're not running into a hoarding situation. Unfortunately, as I mentioned at the last meeting, we have had a hoarder of over 100 cats.
Yeah.
Macomb County Animal Control just dealt with 84 cats. I now have been made aware of a new possible hoarder in Eastpointe.
Oh.
Now, the problem with that is that they're just reproducing. Those finances fall on the taxpayer dollars. That also falls on our animal control to either euthanize those animals that are too feral to be adopted out or find rescue placement. So it's to help eliminate this process that we keep having to continuously battle. So that's why I'm urging to have a spay and neuter ordinance to involve cats, because they should be. Otherwise, we're going to continue facing financial hardship here real soon. We're also.
I have absolutely no problem with any of it except the 93. Sounds like you're trying to, you misunderstand what I'm saying. I have no problem with what you're doing or what you need to do.
Yeah, we're just mimicking the same ordinance as the dogs and the state law, state statute.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I think my position for tonight's purposes is I will probably vote against the amendment, but I'm actually in favor of the general idea of decriminalization and removing jail time. I would want to know first whether or not it can be a misdemeanor with no jail time. I guess I would want to do the research on what would that look like to change it without taking the teeth out. Because I agree, I don't think we should be typically using it to lock people up. To have it in compliance with how state law defines a misdemeanor, though, I don't want to shoot from the hip and have an ordinance that's either not enforceable or contrary to state law. And if we could do it and bring it back later, I would be open to amending not just this, but a number of them.
So, Rich, what would you bring back to us? Where it wouldn't be a misdemeanor? Is that what you'd be working on?
What the council could do this evening is pass the ordinance as presented as before the council this evening. And just like any other ordinance, the ordinance section can be what's called decriminalized, okay? The misdemeanor violation penalty provision could be amended to make it just a civil infraction. There's also the possibility of, for repeat offenses, it's kind of a graduated violation section that a first offense is a civil infraction, a second offense within a certain period of time then elevates up to a misdemeanor. So
Okay, so it sounds to me like you could bring something back that would eliminate the 93 days.
It's possible, yes.
Folks, maybe, I wish you stop moving your head back like I think you're going to have to call the ambulance, that you might be having something going wrong with you. Yeah. And because of that, that makes me feel better. And maybe it's just Harvey. Maybe I'm overreacting. I'm sorry. But I'm visualizing, and maybe I should, maybe it's my age. I don't know. I'm visualizing Grandma Jones in there in jail and her saying, could you let me out? My granddaughter's graduating from Michigan State, and they say, oh, no, we can't let you out. You got 92 days left. So I will withdraw my motion, particularly after our city attorney made me feel 100% better. And I will wait for that. Now, that's not going to be 6 months from now, or it's be like 2 or 3 meetings, you'll have that done?
It's something that I'd like to talk to Chief Haynes about, yes. About what that would
How
look
about, who supported the amendment? Are you okay with him withdrawing?
I had a question.
Okay.
So,
We could vote on it.
I can withdraw my motion anytime I want to without the supporter objecting to it. I withdraw my motion. No, you do.
Okay, I'm not going to argue with you. I don't think I don't care whether we vote on it or not. I see where it's going. I didn't want to steamroll someone else who had also.
I mean, I'm still going to vote no for the main motion, but that's okay.
Yeah.
okay, so my question is, do we know what percentage of residents that have animals do not have their animals spayed or neutered? Do we have a percentage? Do we know how many homes that might be based off registration? Do we look up some data?
Well, I think it's difficult to answer because if they don't have a license, we don't know that they have a dog or another animal. So we would really, if I had to put a number on it, just on a guess, I would probably say 30%.
Are not spayed or neutered?
Yeah, that are probably not, that we don't, but we don't get complaints on because we don't go out looking for that. It's one of those where we get a complaint of a barking dog, and then we do investigation. We find out the dog is not licensed or not spayed, not neutered. And then we start with our warning process, just like regular code enforcement would do. We start by warning them and saying, hey, you have X number of time to get your dog spayed or neutered. We have low-cost clinics that we refer them to. We have, as you well aware, we did last year and we plan to do it again this year. We have a low-cost shot clinic along with a free microchipping. So we're already doing all these things that are enabling our residents to be successful and not to have to worry about, not having enough money to get them. And we have agencies that will help them. And again, I can't stress enough that this whole issue is brought up because we're trying to mirror the ordinances, that we already have, the ordinances that the majority of this entire state of Michigan already has in place. We're not doing anything different. We're not doing anything above and beyond. We're just trying to get our ordinances in line with state law and with the local ordinance codes that everybody around us uses. And again, there is no intent, and I know what you're, I'm not trying to say anything negative, but there is no intent to lock anybody up for these issues. There never has been, there never will be. But it's very similar to a traffic offense of driving while license suspended. It's a 93-day misdemeanor. People don't go to jail for their first offense of driving while license suspended. But it's there.
But
I'm just trying to say that it's not something that was created in a vacuum. It's something that we followed the rest of the local ordinances and are merely mirroring them. So if there's something that needs to be changed, and Rich and I can have an off-topic conversation with that, I have no issues looking into that at all.
And I know for a fact, the gentleman that you are, you would be very satisfied when Rich comes back with a change in that where the $500 would still be there. And I know all the other ones are there, and I'm not going to go back and try to change those, but you'd be satisfied, wouldn't you? Because you're a very nice guy.
I am a very nice guy, thank you. I would prefer, though, honestly, I would prefer that if we were taking a change to come back, even if it's just this ordinance, if we were looking at reducing and decriminalizing to a civil infraction, I would ask certainly that council take into consideration that a second or subsequent offense would be back to the misdemeanor. So, because what I don't want to get into is, first of all, we don't like, well, I shouldn't say it as a police officer, but we don't want to issue tickets to everybody. That's not the goal. The goal is compliance. And if we can get them to comply without a ticket, that's the best scenario possible for everyone, because then the animal's good, we know the family's good, we know everybody is on the right page. But we do have those that absolutely refuse to comply, not because they can't afford it, just because they won't do it. And when we have that situation, we need to have some teeth in it, because the last thing I want to do is have my ACO writing civil infraction after civil infraction after civil infraction after civil infraction, and the court can do nothing about it. So that would be my only concern, is that if we do look at decriminalizing, even if it's just this violation, that we at least consider having a subsequent offense within, even if it was within a target date, like within 1 year, the same issue happens, that we revive that ability to have it as a misdemeanor.
Now, I know I did some research and I looked up, and the information that I found was about 78% of owners that have animals do spay and neuter. So there's about, a 22% that would probably prefer not to. I don't know if you run into a lot of issues with that full 22%, but there might be a small percentage. Now, some owners may not want to be mandated to spay or neuter their animals. So I think we should kind of consider maybe only the owners who, I guess it would be like animal cruelty issues, that we have evidence that can be supported to actually place this violation on. Or like when we go to license them or chip them, require that they do take a course so that they know the benefits spaying and neuter would cause, maybe avoid cancer. And I know there's mammary cancer, some of that research I found. So kind of look at some other options without mandating and giving them some wiggle room, because I think that 22%, some might be opposed to it.
Well, and I think you're right. And I think we're probably out of that 22%, we're probably only talking about 3 to 5% that are the problems, right? So those problems are the ones that we need to have heavier enforcement action for. But then you do have, out of that 3 to 5%, you have a couple of percent that want to be breeders. And we don't want the breeding occurring in the city, because then you come up with the kenneling and you come up with all these other issues, that we have happen. So that's why we just need a little bit bigger bite into the law if we can work that out. But you're right. And out of that, the 30% that I mentioned, I would say, and Ashley, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we're probably talking maybe 10% that even get a ticket to begin with. And those of that 10% that get the tickets generally go to court, and they end up with some kind of a settlement. They are able to get their dog spayed or neutered, and then we move on, and it's done. Again, I can't stress enough, it's about compliance. It's not about jamming people up with fines and tickets.
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Sure.
Ordinances are for those who are causing problems. If there's no problems with the cats, with the dogs, ACPD is not called to the house, they're not going to be regulated. It's so that PD and animal control have basically a hammer when there is a huge problem, the hoarding, things like that. So this, again, 90+% of the people this doesn't even apply to, but it's for the small percent that cause problems and the dogs get out, or they have 100 cats in the house. It's for things like that.
Yeah, and I want to respond to Karen's point. The requirement, as I read it, only requires the requirement only applies if you have 2 or more cats of the opposite sex, where you're keeping them in a situation where they're exposed to a likelihood of breeding. So I think it's okay to keep that in there. I mean, if you have 1 cat or something like that, you don't have to alter your animal.
Now, is the same thing, does the same thing applies to the dogs, if they have 1 dog?
I'm actually not sure. Is that mirrored from the dog ordinance?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, it's mirrored from the dog ordinance.
I'm sorry, did you have more questions?
Okay, so now when they go to register their animal, they get the license. Do they have to answer whether or not the animal is spayed or neutered? Because they have to register.
Yes. They have to show proof of spay or neuter from the vet's office, so they have a certificate.
Okay.
Yep.
But they have to register with the city, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so you will find out whether or not the animal is spayed or neutered?
Yes. If they come in to get a license, yes, we will know.
Okay. But if those individuals are not the problems,
Right.
and so it's like, okay, and they have to, how do you?
Oh, that's what I mean. We would get a call, for a barking dog, or we would get a call for a loose dog, or we would get a call for abandonment or strays, or, we would come into it in a different way.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not the people that are coming here to register their pets lawfully like they're supposed to do and get their license. It's not those that this has any bearing on.
Mayor, if I may?
Well, I want to make sure everyone from council can get their questions out first, so hold on for a second.
I'm all good.
Do you have anything? I know how I'm going to vote. I don't want to cut you off, but I think does anyone on council have any other questions or information that they're seeking for this? All right. Harvey's withdrawing his motion for the amendment, so I guess call the roll on the main motion, please.
Councilmember Shadlick?
What'd you say?
I didn't think I had support.
Oh,
It's just on the
Harvey's motion was supported, right?
Harvey's motion was.
Whose motion?
Supported the original motion.
I made a motion.
Well, I do.
You did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we had a motion maker and a support, right? Ms.
Correct.
Holman,
Yes, correct.
please call the roll.
Councilmember Shadlick?
Yes.
Councilmember Baker?
Yes.
Councilmember Scott?
No.
Councilmember Curley.
Yes.
Mayor Kleinfeld?
Yes, and before we move on, I'm actually going to propose another motion, and see how it goes. Just move to direct the city attorney to get with administration and provide a report to council on options for changing that penalty and decriminalization.
I support that.
All right, please call the roll.
Mayor Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Councilmember Baker?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley?
Yes.
Councilmember Shadlick?
Yes.
Councilmember Scott?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Moving on to item C, second reading and adoption of ordinance 26-1257, traffic and vehicles.
So moved.
Is there support?
Support.
Which one did you hear, Ms. Holman?
Councilmember Curley?
Okay. Any questions on this? Please call the roll.
Councilmember Baker?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley?
Yes.
Mayor Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Councilmember Shadlick?
Yes.
Councilmember Scott?
Yes.
All right, item D, second reading and adoption of ordinance 26-1258, adult use recreational marijuana establishments. Would anyone like to make a motion?
I move to give second reading and adopt ordinance number 26-1258, Chapter 10, Article 11, Section 10-278.
Is there support?
Support.
All right, did anyone want to speak to this item? I just want to respond to something from the hearing of the public. I think that knowing that they were advertising early and probably just had people showing up because they thought it was open, I think that's probably what was happening, not that there's people lining up at 9 a.m. for this. I think I probably said it the last time, I don't have a strong feeling either way on this. If we were opening earlier than when the schools get in, I think I would have an issue with that. But I don't see the harm of opening an hour early. I think there's opposition to the marijuana establishments in general, and I get that. But I appreciate that information coming forward because I do think we certainly don't owe that establishment anything, but I also try not to base any of my opinions on my personal feelings about any individual. So that's all I had to say. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Shadlick?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley?
Yes.
Councilmember Scott?
No.
Councilmember Baker?
No.
Mayor Kleinfeld?
Yes. Item E, presentation of proposed fiscal year 2026-27 budget and scheduling of budget workshops.
Mayor, if you don't mind, can we take like a 2-minute recess?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Why don't we take a few minutes and reconvene at 8:40?
All right, thank you.
Let's check Harvey on that. At 8:42. All right, so we are moving on to, item E, presentation of proposed fiscal year 2026-27 budget and scheduling of budget workshops. I guess, would you like to speak to this?
I can speak to it briefly. This is the first pass. So council received the full print of the proposed budget. It's our first pass after meeting with department heads and lots of input internally. And then you've got the line item budget as well sent electronically earlier today. With this, we'll start to schedule all of our required workshops, notices, hearings, et cetera, related to the 26-27 budget.
All right.
So if there are any questions or thoughts at this point, it's a lot to digest. If you have anything for us, go right ahead. We will get into more at our workshops in mid-May.
All right, so we don't have to do anything for that, right?
For this item, yes.
Sorry, I'm looking for the page. Well, would anyone on, you have?
I would move to schedule a public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 2025-2026 budget and tax rate to support the budget for Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026 at 7 p.m. and direct the city manager to publish all required notices of the public hearing.
Thank you.
I'll second.
All right, please call the roll.
Councilmember Shadlick?
Yes.
Councilmember Baker?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley.
Yes.
Mayor Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Councilmember Scott?
Yes.
And I just wanted to state too, we talked earlier, we essentially canceled our May 5th regular meeting because there's an election that day. And we have the 2 workshops the following week. So if there are business items that need to happen that would have happened on the 5th, we can call a special meeting for the 12th and start a little earlier, or do the 13th. We'll be together a couple times there, or we can punt things to the following regular meeting. So looking forward to all this fun and excitement in May.
All right. On to item F, introduction, first reading of ordinance 26-1259, fiscal year 2026-27 appropriations and tax levies.
So moved.
Support.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
I think I heard Councilmember Baker?
Yes.
Thank you. Councilmember Curley.
Yes.
Councilmember Baker?
Yes.
Mayor Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Councilmember Shadlick?
Yes.
Councilmember Scott?
Yes.
All right, item G, schedule public hearing on proposed 2026-27. Oh, that's okay. That's why I was confused. I was like, I don't see that. It was 2 items down. Okay.
Yeah.
So, moving on to approval of resolution 26, 2015 library millage renewal, proposed ballot language.
All right, the Eastpointe Memorial Library is seeking to renew the current millage. So I motion to approve the resolution number 26-2015, approving the ballot question language for the Eastpointe Memorial Library millage renewal proposal.
Support.
All right, please call the roll.
Councilmember Scott?
Yes.
Councilmember Shadlick?
Yes.
Councilmember Baker?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley.
Yes.
Mayor Kleinfeld?
Yes. Item I, approval of award of master plan contract for the Eastpointe Memorial Library. Would anyone like to make a motion?
I would move to award the Eastpointe Memorial Library master plan contract to MCD Architects of Farmington Hills, Michigan, in the amount of $20,800.
Support.
Any questions on that? Please call the roll.
Councilmember Shadlick?
Yes.
Councilmember Scott?
Yes.
Councilmember Baker?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley.
Yes.
Mayor Kleinfeld?
Yes. Item J, approval of special event application, Eastpointe Community Schools, 5K walk/run.
I do have one question about this. I see this map here outlining what the 5K run will be. But a question about, I think is it just one or two of our parks? One of our parks falls in here? Spindler. Will the park be open to the public during this run, or will it be closed to the public? I mean, because, people will be basically making their rounds in the park. So I guess I'm curious as to just what the plan is I'm supportive of it, but I just kind of want to know.
I mean, I believe it stays open,
Stays open?
but that was my understanding. I'm getting a nod.
Yeah, so I mean, as far as.
If you step up to the mic, thank you.
Yeah, as far as I know, I wouldn't have a problem, because we're doing, as you can see on the map, it's the perimeter of the park of Spindler, so we're going around. But I wouldn't see a problem if, we're not like going, because I know there's a playground there, and so they wouldn't going across like in the playground or anything like that, so.
Okay. I guess I was just asking because, if people are running, we don't want people running into.
No, I understand. Yeah. And then we'll make sure that we'll have people at different parts of, of the route where it's
Okay.
gonna be at and everything, so,
Okay,
Yeah.
that was my only question.
okay.
Would anyone like to make a motion?
I would move to approve the special event application for the Eastpointe Community Schools 5K walk/run on May 2nd, 2026, contingent upon the following. All food trucks must be permitted with an approved inspection at least 5 business days before the event. Any tents larger than 10 by 10 require a site plan and must be properly permitted. All tents must comply with the International Fire Code 2021, Chapter 31. The exact 5K route must be clarified, and general liability insurance must be provided prior to the event and must name the city of Eastpointe as additional insured in the amount of at least $1 million.
I'll support that, and just for clarity, that's 10 feet by 10 feet for that tent.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just in case anybody was wondering. So,
All right. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Shadlick?
Yes.
Councilmember Baker?
yes.
Councilmember Curley.
Yes.
Mayor Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Councilmember Scott?
Yes.
All right, payrolls and bills.
I move that we pay the bills in the amount of $2,559,373.82.
Support.
Who'd you hear support that?
I did. Whoever.
Okay. Any questions on that? Please call the roll.
Councilmember Baker?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley?
Yes.
Mayor Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Councilmember Shadlick?
Yes.
Councilmember Scott?
Yes.
All right, and now we'll open the second hearing of the public. Would anyone wish to be heard?
Mary Halvey from Eastpointe. Couple of things that I'd like some information about. The election to the Civil Service Commission Board, is that something that's open for the public? Is there supposed to be some type of notice or hearing before that appointment is made or whatever? The position of an HR person has typically been one to handle complaints from other employees, whatever. In a situation like the city of Eastpointe, who, if there's a problem with a hired person, who does that person complain to? Or is that not something that the council itself would take care of? And I say that because the council here is similar to the school board in as much as you make decisions about who you hire for positions, and you need to have good information in order to do that. Now, I personally have a problem with what happened with the school board, but that's old news. Everybody who knows me knows why. But at the same time, there needs to be some sort of deliberate organization and process and plans so that people have an avenue to pursue when there are items going on without lawsuits being involved. That's what I'm getting to, because I think we don't need to spend a lot of money on lawsuits if we already have a process and plans to handle complaints when they come in. The third thing I wanted to I bring up is when, with regard to Moses Roses, I did get a chance to talk to a neighbor who lived 5 blocks away, and he said he'd never seen more than 7 to 10 cars there at any time. So once again, I'm saying, before you make decisions, know, collect the evidence, the documentation, that there is truly a need. We should
have 30
not
seconds.
be in a position. Did I go over my time?
No, you have 30 seconds.
Whether it's absolutely needed. And that's not my point, because I think that's the practical approach to things. Thank you.
Thank you.
To second on the roadside stands, I know that you guys were talking about doing farmers markets. As a mom, obviously, I'm a very busy person right now, and I do have experience in that work with just running events and finding vendors and finding the right things. I would be willing to help in any regard. You guys do have my contact information, and I would love to see that in our city. So I would volunteer at no charge to help that become a thing in our city. I just believe that we have that opportunity to really give back, and even if I couldn't be present with you, I know others that would help as well in our city. There's a chef here. Her name's Chef Tammy, and I know that there are many others that would love to be able to volunteer some of their time to make sure that their city has the opportunity to do something along those lines. So if that's something you guys are ever actually interested in moving forward on as well, then I hope that that is something that we can. And thank you guys for all of your time.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard?
Hi, my name's Lisa. I am here on the animal ordinances. I work for Avery Joyceville Animal Rescue, who pulls hundreds of cats from Eastpointe Animal Control every year because of your problem that you have here. I don't know if there's a maximum financial penalty involved in a civil infraction or not, but I would imagine that there is if there's one with a misdemeanor. But I mean, someone can correct me, at some point if they want. That's like a slap on the wrist. Like, it's silly almost. A hoarder house that we helped with here cost my rescue over $30,000 removing eyeballs from these cats and them dying and us trying to save them and whatever else. I can't imagine that grandma whatever would have 100 cats in her house and we'd, be worried about her making her grandkids whatever. I can't stress that we're not going after the good people, right? We're going after the ones that have a serious addiction, and it's a problem. And it's not only affecting them, it's affecting hundreds of lives in their care. They're not getting care. They're putting them in situations where they're sick and they're filthy, and it's disgusting for the human and the animal. And then there's nonprofits like mine cleaning up the mess. I think that is punishable. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Thank you, Council. Just real quick, on behalf of the Library Commission, thank you for the approval of the ballot language and the approval of the contract for the library, one of the hidden gems of this city. Thank you.
Thank you.
John Solera, Kelly Road. From the earlier rare presentation, I'm dead set 100% against any pride in the park garbage. I do not. The LGBT community represents no more than 1 or 2% of the population, and I'm not even sure if it's just a campaign event for Mr. Kleinfeld. I don't know. There's no reason for that for 1 or 2% of our population. Mr. Bloom, I believe I direct this to you. I did get a tax increase of $100. Not much, right? $100 ain't much. But my house is not worth more than I can sell it for. I don't believe my house went up a penny. And my house built in 1957, I could probably put $30,000 in it lickety-split, talking about roofs, furnace, water heater. So you guys, it's just based on computer stuff. You put stuff in the computer, you get it out, adjust for inflation and raise people's taxes. This animal ordinance is beyond the pale to me. Super woke stuff. I mean, if you got problems with breeders, you got people with too many cats, you got people who abuse animals, you write a ordinance for that purpose. Somebody keeps an unvaccinated cat in their house and there's no call, there's nothing, then just forget it. You don't need that kind of an ordinance. And once again, speaking on that meeting for ethics, I think it was really detrimental to you, Mr. Kleinfeld. I gotta really say that it looks like you run an ugly ship here. I don't know what you're doing. And I advise the attorney, my own personal advice is that when you get the suit, which you're going to get, I'd just settle immediately, because you get a sharp pencil lawyer, take a case like that to court with a $90,000 salary, you could be paying a $1 million judgment from a jury.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Jennifer Nicholas, Eastpointe resident. I would like to see further discussion and investigation into the circumstances surrounding Vicki Brooks' termination. I believe that the initial third-party investigation dealt solely with her issues, her concerns about discrimination in the workplace and her issues with former city manager Elke Doom. I don't feel that her termination has been investigated thoroughly. Most of these meetings are on video, so what has been said is documented. We can go back and see them. Additionally, the Civil Service Board meetings, although those are not recorded, even though Chairman Martin has asked for those to be recorded, they are not. I've attended those too. So I've heard what's been said. Chairman Martin has asked very specific questions regarding Vicki Brooks' termination and who's replacing her and whether it's temporary part-time, temporary full-time, and the responses that he's gotten are either I don't know or some form of deflection. So I really do think that, we owe it to Ms. Brooks and to the city in general to find out what happened. Elke Doom says that council and mayor came to her and wanted this position eliminated. Mr. Blum said that this was a budget amendment that was requested by mayor and council. You're saying that, nope, it wasn't you. Why would he even say that? It's very confusing to people. And I think that to clear it up and be transparent for everyone, there should be further investigation into it. As far as Moses Rose's hours, yes, they did change it to 10 a.m. 52 days after they opened. So I don't know if it's a matter of just carelessness or sloppiness that they had hours of 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. since February 1st, or if that was their intention to try and give a reason why they needed to be open an hour earlier. Mayor Kleinfeld, I understand your position on it. You have said you don't care if they're open till 11 p.m. or midnight. You don't care if they're open till 9 a.m., 10 a.m. Makes no difference to you. I don't, no offense, but your opinion on it
You
is
have 30
not
seconds.
what your role is. We've got summer months coming up. I'm sure that people are going to be out and about more. They had only been open for a month and a half before they wanted extra hours again now. We don't even know how they're operating. To give you an example, Roseville is extending their hours later on a 6-month trial basis. They did not change an ordinance that's going to affect everything permanently. And when you're still negotiating with Common Citizen that wants to open next to a daycare center, maybe you should think about the hours that you're granting them.
Anyone else wish to be heard?
Larry Edwards, Eastpointe residents. Yeah, I believe that there should be a continuing investigation as well in regard to the Miss Vicky and the HR situation and what have you. And Mr. DeMonico and the mayor has in this council setting stated their position as far as what Mr. Bloom has said. So it looks like now that the ball is back into Mr. Bloom's hand in regard to his statement against those two. This situation is not going away and what have you, because it looks real bad in regard to how it's been handled and what have you, and especially as was just stated and what have you, it's confusing, and there's a lot of shift changing and what have you. He said, she said, and all this. So we need to get to the bottom of it. When we made mention of due to the animals, I'm not totally clear and understanding what's the difference between a license and having a license and being neutered and spayed and what have you. When we had a judge here in Eastpointe, Carl Birds, I believe is how you pronounce his name, who practiced a pay or stay situation and had to be many times opposed by the ACLU, as well as the federal government had to step in and say how unorthodox and how unlawful and constitutional-wise his practices was. But it didn't stop him, and he was in office as a judge until he retired, and that's what more or less due to senile for 12 years. And many people, some in here today and everything, knew about this guy being nutty as a fruitcake and what have you. So there's many statements online and everything where it shows that he sent people to jail for dog license, for jaywalking. Seemed like anything that he could do. So I wouldn't be surprised if neutering and spade wasn't one that was involved in it as well. When we searched the internet to see how silly this guy was and what have you, but nothing was ever done to him to really send him to jail, to punish him and get him to resign and step down from ever being able to practice. It should be law, period, and what have you. And these are the kind of things that's been going on for some time. It's just not kind of coming out and being exposed and what have you. So there's a lot more to come out and everything. People know about what's going on here, and it's time for the cover to be exposed.
You've once again failed miserably to do right by the rabbits and protect them. All of you. You have a duty to prevent rabbits, just like you did with the backyard chicken ordinance, to prohibit them from being slaughtered for food or other food consumption. You didn't do a damn thing to put that in the ordinance. You failed miserably by ignoring spaying and neutering rabbits to prevent hoarding, illegal breeding, and reproductive cancers. This isn't about if they'll develop these cancers if they're not spayed or neutered. It's about when. You failed miserably to protect rabbits by mandating the RHDV2 vaccines to prevent rabbits from hemorrhaging to death. You chose instead to go the sixth grader route. You know, when you didn't do your homework, so you decided to copy off your classmate and hand that in as your completed assignment, thinking the teacher would just be none the wiser. This was lazy. You failed to do your research. This is just so abhorrent. You clearly do not understand, nor do you care about the specialized care that rabbits required. And you disgustingly just proved that in this pathetic ordinance you just passed and copying and pasting the dog ordinance for rabbits. Rabbits are not dogs. How do you not get that? Turning to other items, follow protocol. If somebody is not on the agenda to give a presentation, don't invite them up for all this back and forth. It doesn't show the rest of us respect when we're limited to 3 minutes during our public comment periods. You also do not conflict. Ordinances don't conflict with state law. When you do that, not only are you violating state law, and then you want to decriminalize, you want to take away the discretion from the judge. I don't think Judge Galen would appreciate that, especially how much she loves animals. And last of all, Councilman Curley, don't you ever disrespect me like that again. Every single one of you are bound by the preamble and the charter. If you don't like what we have to say, that's too bad. You wanted this job. You don't get to attack us. We're exercising our First Amendment rights. If you don't like me shaking my head because you're just doing something that, no, people break the law. They need to be held accountable. But you don't get to attack me or anybody else.
All right, seeing none, the hearing of the public is closed. We'll move on to mayor and council reports. How about Ms. Scott?
I just want to go ahead and just wish all the students who are getting ready to take MSTEP good luck on the test, and I know some are preparing to take the SAT or PSAT, so I just would like to wish them the best of luck on the exam.
All right, Ms. Pashadlik.
I have a couple of things that I'd like to clarify first with respect to that animal ordinance amendment. With the animal ordinance motion that was passed, I just want to clarify, because I think there may have been a little bit of confusion. This wasn't for shots for the cats or the animals. An example is that we're trying to prohibit or restrain the breeding of the animals. So if you have a male and female cat, one of them should be neutered or spayed, is what the point of the whole thing is. As for the misdemeanor penalties, I think that's ultimately up to the judge whether or not she would assign, those types of penalties. It's always at the judge's discretion. I'd like to thank everyone for coming forward and speaking at the hearing of the public. Everyone was very passionate tonight. I listened to everything that you had to say. I hope that you are not discouraged from coming forward. I do want to acknowledge a couple of people who came forward. Lisa, about the animals, thank you so much for your rescue of those animals. Very kind of you and very necessary. We appreciate that kind of compassion in our community. And I'd also like to welcome Brittany and for coming forward and speaking. Again, there's a lot of passion here, and you've got a very insightful idea that you'd like to promote, so I don't want to discourage anyone. I'd also like to thank the school district for doing the 5K run. I think that's a positive thing in our community, and I do appreciate that. I hope everyone will attend it, even whether you can walk or run or just even attend for a little bit of time. I think it's great to have it in the park. A lot of times when we have events at the park, it's interesting because people who show up there just to maybe go to the playground or something, see, oh, what's going on, and then they try and get involved. And it's a good way to promote involvement. So I commend you for doing that. Thank you. I'd also like to mention that on April 25th at Spindler Park at 10 a.m., the Beautification Commission is sponsoring the Earth Day cleanup. So if you would like to join us, we're going to be picking up trash in Spindler Park. Afterwards, at 1 p.m., they usually have a luncheon, and they also have like some other activities going on. Adopt a Garden will be there, so we'll be doing that if you're interested in that, as well as I believe Arts and Cultural Diversity Commission will be there as well. So we'd love to see everybody on that day, and that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Curley.
Thank you, Mayor. First question, and I guess that would be the finance director. I agree with the request about increasing the beautifications budget by $1,000. When would I respond to that or talk about that?
At the May budget meetings.
At the Bay, okay.
Yep.
Because they do fantastic things, and they can't do a lot of the things without funds, so I'll bring that up then. Secondly, a 10-mile road at Hayes, it's terrible. You can hardly drive on it now. And I guess the question would be, has the administration written a letter or called or set with the county commissioners about when are they going to do it and why are they going to wait?
Yes, we've been advocating for that. It is on their program, I believe, for 2027, and we've insisted that it be sped up and that it happen sooner, but we have not gotten very far in those conversations. I hear you.
Our county commissioner, Lucido, is the only one of the 11 that is trying to push that to have that happen as soon as possible. Maybe they need a picture of what the road looks like. Send it to the chairperson and say, this is what it looks like. And, you know, I'm almost convinced now we're going to almost have to have a sign there saying, slow your speed down because things are going to happen.
Or these potholes brought to you by Macomb County Road Commission. Yep.
I don't have a passport, and I don't have my original birth certificate. After 89 years, God, it's probably whatever. Yeah, and I vote by mail. Millions of other people in this country vote by mail, don't they? And unless our people in Washington turn this request down to make it almost impossible to vote, there's going to be an awful lot of people that's going to be disappointed. So if you agree with me that you need to call your senator or call your congressman, do so. If you don't agree with me, that's okay. You know, this is America. We still have rights, although not as many as we did 2 years ago. So just do what you think is right. If I got a little heated tonight, I'm sorry. That's my tenure, I guess. That's the way I go. And you don't agree with me particularly about changing the time from 10 o'clock to 9 o'clock. There's nothing mysterious about it. I did it because I thought it would be okay. I didn't get a brown envelope. I'm not going to go to Vegas for free. I did it because that's what I thought. And people want to disagree with, that's okay. But don't go any further than disagreeing with us. And I'm sorry that I yelled at you, shaking your head. That was out of line. So I'm publicly putting that in the minutes that I'm sorry that I did that. It was stupid and it hurt you. It hurt you. And I didn't think about it at the time. So I'm sorry. That's it, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Baker.
Thank you. I don't have much tonight, but I want to thank Ms. Swartz for coming out. And she and I did have an opportunity to talk a few weeks ago, and I received a call, and I actually was able to call her back and heard about her idea, and I think it's very interesting. And I did come up here. I was able to talk with Ms. Holman, our assistant city manager, about it. Mr. Mattis, he was away out of office that particular week, and so there was conversation. She was excited about it, and told me that I was okay to let you know that she was excited just hearing about it, and she was liked the pictures that you had provided and everything. So I'm excited to hear more about it, and I appreciate you coming out. And I know, as you and I talked previously, that I know you had to work some things out to be sure that you could make it here to share with us your ideas. But I'm glad that you got the ball rolling, and I look forward to seeing where it goes. So, but we thank you for sharing that with us. We had Pastor Rush and I forget the other young lady's name that came up with CARE. But like it was stated, I used to chair that coalition for a number of years, and they focused on prevention and have even done some events for the school-age kids to give them an activity to do. They had a skating event, and I know they've done other things to try to give them substance-free activity and just encourage them to come out and hang out and do some things that didn't involve substances and try to promote a substance-free agenda. And I think that's a wonderful thing. I've done a lot of volunteer work in the city, and I can't tell you how many times, like even with Gleaners, we would open up car doors, and sometimes the first thing you smell is marijuana. So I do support what that coalition does. Like I said, I was chairing it. I was a part of it for a number of years, and I just want to recognize them for a lot of their the great things that they've done. I've met and seen and interacted with a number of community organizers, and the work that they do is definitely a labor of love. Beyond that, we appreciate everybody coming out. We know that sometimes these meetings get a little spirited, but I do agree with people being able to come up and express, our residents being able to come up and express their thoughts. Even if it's disagreement towards us, we have to listen to that. Those of us that sit up here, we have to subject ourselves to that. We have to listen to what you have to say, even if it's criticism against voting, against things, the decisions that we make at this table. But that's all a part of serving this community. So with that, that's all I have.
Thank you. I like to see how many people came out tonight. It seemed like maybe because it was a long agenda, it's kind of a packed audience. I look forward to the budget discussion. I think when it comes to the positions, Ryan's the one who has to assess how he wants to run his administration, and basically his job is to come to us and ask for money to do it. And so I think the discussion that people are curious about will be coming up soon as we kind of see what decisions we're going to make to fund the city manager's office. In terms of sort of the conversation that took place when I wasn't here, I hear people saying it's confusing, and I agree with that. When I was watching it, I thought it was confusing. I didn't think it was necessarily an appropriate conversation because it was sort of different people having opinions on what they talked to different people about before an agenda item was put on. I did not understand the purpose. Any one of us can put an item on. Administration can do it themselves. I can't deny someone's right to put an item on the agenda. If all of council disagrees with it, we can take it off the agenda publicly at a meeting. So I think I would like people to think about the fact that it was put on the agenda. There was a report, there was information presented to council. Council is the one that voted on that item. The fact that the confusion that gets brought up with trying to determine, I guess, who had the idea first or something, I didn't understand it because it just creates confusion, and I would never, if I disagreed with how an agenda item went, bring it up at a subsequent meeting to have a discussion and then start asking administrators which council person you talk to as if they have to answer for that. Everyone can talk to administration and gather information. And I don't think it's my position to grill them for doing it. I think they have the right to do that. I encourage them to do that. And so nothing nefarious happened, but I did think it was confusing the way the conversation was presented. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there because there was comments about further investigation. There's not been any allegation or something specific that's been highlighted that needed to be investigated. When a complaint was brought up, that's when we said, hey, go investigate that. Of course, if information comes to us that needs to be investigated, I think we would follow that lead and do the right thing. So I just kind of wanted to say my 2 cents on that regarding my feelings on just how the information comes out and how I know it looked to the public. I wasn't pleased with that myself. So that's all I had. Motion to adjourn?
Go to closed session.
Oh, I'm sorry. Motion to go into closed session. I'll make a motion to go into closed session pursuant to 26818.
Support.
Please call the roll.
I believe that was Councilmember Shadlick, right?
Yeah.
Mayor
Yes.
Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Councilmember Shadlick?
Yes.
Councilmember Scott?
Yes.
Councilmember Baker?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley.
Going into closed session at 9:23. Here. We are back in open session at 9:33. Is there a motion?
I would move that we approve the city attorney's recommendation with respect to the pending litigation to extend the time from September 30th, 2026 to December 1st, 2026.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Shadlick?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley? Yes. Councilmember Scott?
No.
Councilmember Baker?
No.
Mayor Kleinfeld?
Yes. Motion to adjourn?
So move.
Support.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Baker?
Yes.
Councilmember Shadlick?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley? Yes. Mayor Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Councilmember Baker? I'm sorry, Councilmember Scott?
Yes.
Meeting adjourned at 9:34.